Clay. I'm from Ashland, Kentucky. With the recent recession being discussed in business news pretty much every day, if America were to go into a recession, what is your plan once in office to bring us out of it?
Thank you very much. How long has it been since you had a tie on? Thank you. Oh, good. You look good. Thank you. And thanks for being here today. Appreciate it. My friends, I believe we are in a recession. I think the numbers indicate that. And I will be glad to discuss the technical aspect of what's a recession or not technically is a recession. But I think the reality is, and I don't have to tell you here, that American families are hurting. Tonight, a family will be, or this morning, they were sitting around the kitchen table trying to figure out how they're going to keep their home, make their payments, which have jumped through no fault of their own, how they're going to afford health care, how they're going to keep their job. Many of them have had a recent and sudden loss of a job, and Americans are hurting today. So let's start out with the acceptance of the fact that action has to be taken. I believe that we need to do a lot of things, some of it short-term and some of it long-term. Let me just tell you one of the real quick short-term things. I think you know that the price of oil just went up over $118 a barrel. You know how hard it is. You know how hard it is, particularly in rural areas, of people who have to drive long distances. I think you probably know, or you may not know, but you should know, that 18 cents for out of every gallon of gas that you put in your tank, it goes to the federal government in the form of a gas tax. If it's diesel, it's 24 cents. Why don't we give you, between Memorial Day and Labor Day, a tax holiday? No, pay those taxes. Why not we just do that? You know. Is it a huge thing? No, I don't think it's huge, but it might make you go a little further, maybe take an extra trip, maybe to enjoy the summer a little more. And by the way, on that, the fascinating thing to me, the special interests in Washington greeted that proposal as the end of Western civilization as we know it. I mean, you can't believe it. I mean, we might not be able to construct that $233 million bridge to nowhere in Alaska, you know. So right. And some of those people are complaining they're driving around in chauffeured limousines anyway. But I'll stop beating up on them. But the point is that we need to, I'd like to have that. But we also have to make sure that Americans are going to have lower taxes and less burden on them. I think we need to make sure that we keep the taxes low, and there's a thing called a capital gains tax, which many of you know, that 100 million people have a mutual fund or pension or other investments for which there is dividends and return on those investments, and that's taxed, and it's called capital gains. Well, Senator Obama wants to nearly double those taxes on you. 100 million families have an investment of some kind. I want to cut that tax. Jack Kennedy was the first person to really cut capital gains taxes, and every time it stimulated the economy. I want to make sure that every student in America has access to a student loan if they need it and have earned it this year. And I'm worried about that. And that's the job of the federal government. Right now, as I mentioned earlier, there are millions of Americans that are in danger of losing their home because of the reset, where they are now faced with much higher monthly payments because of the nature of their home loan mortgage and the depreciation of the value of their home. Well, I want to give them a chance to stay in their home. I want them, if they believe that they want to do it and get a federal government guaranteed loan, they can go down to the post office, apply for a FHA loan that's a 30-year guaranteed loan at the value of their home. and the deal is made between, obviously, the lender and the borrower, and it is guaranteed by the federal government. Now, if at the end, when we come out of this recession, and we will, because I believe the fundamentals of America's economy are good, and the long-term prospects of our economy are good if government behaves in the proper fashion and doesn't overtax them, then and the homeowner decides to sell, then 1/3 of that profit would go to the homeowner, 1/3 to the lender, and 1/3 to the federal government that guaranteed that loan. This is in the economic benefit of America, because I don't think I have to tell you that an empty home has all kinds of problems associated with it, including local government has to maintain or demolish or do whatever it is with an abandoned home. So I think that's one of the key and fundamental important aspects of our economy. There are many other steps that need to be taken, all based, for example, health care. Senator Clinton wants the government to make their decisions for you on your health care. I want the families to make the decisions on their health care. And I don't think, frankly, someone who wants to increase the burden of government regulation and higher taxes has any real understanding of economics and the economy and what is needed in order to ensure the future of this country. If you raise taxes on the American people, then I think it will be very harmful to our economy. I believe that lower taxes stimulates the economy, grows our economy, and over time we have increased revenues. I'm sorry for the long answer, but there's many steps. Those are just some of the steps that we need to take. And one of them is to restore trust and confidence in the government of the United States of America and the Congress, and that's not there today. The spending in the last 8 years, according to my figures, has increased by some 40%. Government spending has gotten out of control. It's outrageous, and it is one of the major factors in causing this economic recession that we are in today, and I will stop it. I will stop it, and I will start by I will eliminate every pork barrel project that comes up. I have never asked for an earmark or a pork barrel project for my state. My state's doing pretty well. Senator Obama and Senator Clinton have asked for hundreds of millions of dollars of wasteful projects. Senator Clinton was able to get $1 million of your tax dollars for the Woodstock Concert Museum. Really? Really? Is that fiscal discipline? Obviously not. As I say, by the way,